All right, let's get right into it. If you've ever felt like you're just drowning in a sea of receipts and spreadsheets, well, you're in the right place. Today, we're talking about making that huge, pivotal leap from old school manual bookkeeping to the awesome power of modern accounting software.
You know, this quote really just hits the nail on the head. We're not just talking about a simple upgrade here. This is a total transformation of how you look at your business's finances. It's about going from a tool that just counts the beans to a powerful engine that actually helps you grow the whole business.
Sound familiar? You know, spending hour after hour typing in sales, chasing down expenses, trying to make the numbers match up. That right there is the financial version of shoveling coal. It's messy, it's exhausting, and it keeps you stuck below deck when you should be up on the bridge steering the ship.
So, here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll talk about why those manual systems just don't cut it anymore. Then, we'll dive into the massive perks of automation. We'll look at what software to pick, cover the first few things you need to learn, and wrap up with how this all turns you from a number cruncher into a real strategist.
Okay, first things first. Let's really paint a picture of that old world of manual bookkeeping. Because to appreciate where we're going, we have to understand why, for any business that wants to grow, it's a world you've got to leave in the rearview mirror.
And this is the single biggest danger. It's a domino effect. Just imagine this. You make a sale for $1,500, but oops, you accidentally type in $150. That one little typo doesn't just mess up your sales number. Oh no, it cascades. Suddenly your cash balance is wrong, your profit is off, your sales tax report is a mess, and just like that, one tiny slip-up creates this tidal wave of problems that can take you days to find and fix.
So if the manual way is like walking through a minefield, what's the answer? Well, let's get to the good part and see how automation just completely changes the entire game.
This chart says it all, doesn't it? Manually, you log a sale, then you have to go update your cash, then update your revenue, then maybe update inventory. It's 3 or 4 steps. With software, you enter that sale once, and boom, everything else updates automatically. The system literally won't let you be unbalanced. And my favorite part? Instead of spending an entire day trying to build a profit and loss report from scratch, you just click a button. The difference in speed and accuracy is, honestly, it's night and day.
And this brings us to the most fundamental shift of all. It's a change in your job description. You stop being a data entry clerk, just mindlessly typing numbers into boxes. Instead, you become a data manager, overseeing a smart system that's doing all the heavy lifting for you.
Okay, you're on board. You're ready for an engine. But which one do you pick? Let's break down the main options out there, because the right tool really depends on the size of your business.
So let's start with what a lot of people use, a really tricked out Excel spreadsheet. And look, for a tiny, brand new business, it can work for a little while, but here's the fatal flaw. It has no secure audit trail. What does that mean? It means if you, or anyone else, accidentally deletes a row or changes a number, poof, it's gone, with no permanent record of what happened. For keeping your books accurate and secure, that's a massive risk. Now we're talking. Tier 2 is the gold standard for most small and medium-sized businesses. We're talking tools like QuickBooks or Xero. The real game changer here is that they're cloud-based. They connect right to your bank account, pulling transactions in automatically. This makes working with your accountant a breeze. Seriously, no more emailing 5 different versions of a messy spreadsheet. It's all just there. And then you have the specialized powerhouses. A great example is Tally Prime, which is absolutely huge in places like India and the Middle East. It's built for things like complex inventory and has tax rules, like for GST, baked right in. It's also famous for being keyboard-driven, which means people who know it can enter data at lightning speed. It's a real workhorse for high-volume businesses.
All right, so you've picked your software, you log in for the very first time, and you see all these buttons and menus. The big question is, now what? Don't worry. Let's focus on the absolute first things you need to get a handle on.
Here are your first 3 missions. Number 1, build your chart of accounts. Think of this as the skeleton, the whole framework for your finances. It's just a list of categories for everything. Number 2, connect your bank feed. This is where the magic happens. Transactions just start flowing in. And number 3, set up automated invoicing. Let's say you have a client on a $1,000 monthly retainer. You set it up once, and the software sends them a professional invoice on time every single month without you lifting a finger.
Okay, I want to circle back to that term I mentioned earlier, the audit trail. Because when we talk about professional software, this isn't just some nice little feature.
It is a non-negotiable, foundational pillar of trust and security for your business.
So what is it exactly? Well, think of it like a permanent, uneditable security log for every single financial transaction. If an invoice gets changed from $500 to $450, the audit trail shows exactly who did it and the precise second they did it. You can't delete it, you can't change it. It is absolutely vital for catching mistakes and, frankly, for preventing fraud.
We've covered the why, the what, and the how-to, but now let's get to the real prize. This is the ultimate reward, the reason this whole transition is so incredibly worth it.
We come back to this quote because it really is the whole point. All of this automation, all of these features, they aren't just about saving a few hours here and there. They're about getting you out of that loud, dirty engine room and up onto the bridge of your ship where you can actually see where you're going and grab the wheel.
The real mission here is to free up your single most valuable asset, your brain power, your mental bandwidth. You need that energy to perform what our source material calls Phase 4 analysis. This is the kind of high-level thinking that actually moves the needle and grows your business.
So, instead of asking, did I type this receipt in right? You start asking way bigger, better questions. Questions like, why are our supply costs up 15% this quarter? Or, if we land that big new contract, what does our cash flow look like 6 months from now? See the difference? You're not just recording what happened in the past, you're using real data to actually shape the future.
So once you've finally traded that abacus for a real engine and you've automated all that grunt work, there's only one question left to ask. And it's the most exciting one of all. With your hands finally on the wheel and a clear view of the horizon, where are you going to steer this thing next?